Hey everybody, Chef Gene with Rockin' Mojave Minerals. So, like seriously, I don't even know where to begin, guys. If you're looking over here, that's a rebuild of model number one, I'll call it. And then we went through to call it prototype number two. I had the first one, I had these springs and rubber stoppers, and they weren't doing anything. Looked cool, but no action, super loud. This is a big motor I have in here, so that was the first incarnation. Then, since the action was slow and low, I put in some PVC pipe and attached that to this plate and the springs and kept the springs. So then a subscriber said, I think you're losing all of your action in the springs and energy, and that needs to go into the bowl. The bowl needs to be attached to the plate. So remember also that I had down here, up here, the uneven collar, so this thing would vibrate with the weighted collar on it. So that was sticking up here so you could see it. So I also flipped this one. I put the weighted collar down in here, covered up now, still using most of the same components I had before. Why not? And everything was there. I did convert this to hold these two plates together once I reversed it. And then what I did was I got the PVC pipe, and then I got some threaded stock, and then I got the threaded stock, put the two of them together. I was having an overheating problem, so you'll notice I have some holes cut in the side of the number 10 can. I still have the number 10 can. I still have a piece of the nylon cutting board, and I still use the same bowl. So everything has a good action now. It's well mounted, it's tight, it's pretty loud. I'll fire it up in a few minutes here. But you're probably looking over here at this big yellow Brute Rubbermaid trash can. So remember, I made model number two. I took model number two. I showed a video of number two with walnut meat in it working, and it was awesome. Not too loud, weigh about half of this. So I needed to cut down the sound again because neighbor next door, really close. Remember I said they want to know what the noise was over here if there was a problem. So I decided to mount that number two model with no springs and put that in here to cut down on the noise. I still have some pretty good rotation, but let me show you what I did to the front of this, and hopefully I'll point it in the right direction. So check this out. So, Brute trash can, didn't buy it, blown up against a fence. Remember, I'm trying to scrounge everything I can. I have a lid on it, so that's all the cord. 2 cords this time. So if you look here, I have the cord for the motor, and then I purchased a hobby fan. And I decided to have the fan blowing in because it did have some problems with overheating, which were saved by this regulator here, same one in here. So looks pretty cool. I like the way it turned out. This is nothing more than I cut out a top of a 5-gallon can, and that's the spout of the liquid that was in it. Then I cut out the same shape as the fan motor. Kind of looks like a hobby fan you'd see on computers or whatever. But anyway, that's how the setup on the outside looks. Super cool, I think. And then inside, that's what it looks like on the inside. So you can see that I have the barrel in there, and it'll be easy access to that. And it's actually mounted to the bottom of the can. Again, I used another piece of the nylon cutting board, went through the trash can, and that's all set. Holds up really well. I think everything is mounted great. So again, in there is the motor. The plates look exactly the same as this that I mounted the barrel to. Easy access, just like this one. I can get off, get to it, clean it. And again, we're gonna fire both of these up so you can hear the sound difference. Of course, this one's not in the trash can. Maybe that'll happen later, but wow, it's been super long trying to figure out how to get this to work. The last set of rocks I just took out that took me since October to finish still has some dents and nicks in them and fractures that weren't in there, or I couldn't see them. So I definitely need to get these vibratory tumblers fired up. I need to use them. My tools aren't doing what it needs to do, so tumbler's okay. I think it's a little too fast, but I use an MJR tumbler, and then now I'm using homemade ETG. So Chef Gene, Rockin' Mojave Minerals. I'll show you what these two things look like when they're fired up. So for right now, let me hold off here and I'll start this stuff up so that we can take a look at it. All right, guys, I moved the operation inside my little shed where I have my rotary tumbler and where I'll be putting in these vibratory tumblers. Right now, I'm concentrating on number 2. That's the one that's got the least amount of noise. It's set up for being in here. I had to bungee it together or to the rack, I mean, because it's still twisting a little bit. The action is still great. A little bit slower than this one, but we're talking 2 different motors here. So let's fire up model number 1. It's been reincarnated several times into what it is now. So listen up. I have a multi-plug. We'll plug one in, the louder one, and then model number 2 after that. And then I've also got the fan now for model number 2 in that barrel, or in that trash can, so you can hear that. All right, here's model number 1. Watch the action, listen to the sound. Huge action, huge sound. Model number 2. A little bit slower action, but when you have a wet media in there, and I'm just using walnut media for demonstration, by the way, it worked great. Check out my short video on this model number 2 when I actually had stones in it. You can watch them dancing around in there. So here's the sound again. That one's off. Model number 1, bigger motor. I gotta get that one in a can too, a trash can. So back to this one more time. I'll put the lid on it and you can hear how significantly the sound is reduced. Yeah, boy, I have me a vibratory tumbler. It didn't cost me $700, $600, or even $200. And that's going to make steps 2 through 5 nice. No more fractures, no more cracks. I'm going to have the right tools to do the job now. I was always told you have to have the right tools to do the job right. So, vibratory number 2. Working great. Can't wait to get some rocks in there. I'm almost ready. 2 more weeks and I'm going out in the desert. I'll show you guys where I'm going this time. I think maybe Kramer Hills. See you then. Chef Gene, Rockin' Mojave Minerals.